Right, starting with an important story which is coming in at this moment. There has been a security scare, in fact, a bomb scare at the Israeli embassy in Delhi. The details, in fact, ladies and gentlemen, at this moment, very sketchy, but coming in. What we know so far is that a blast was reported on a vacant plot behind the Israeli embassy. The Delhi police and the fire department were informed, and then the Delhi police is at the spot. At this moment, they have not found anything, but the Israeli embassy sources and the spokesperson confirming to NDTV that around 5 p.m. they heard a blast. A loud bang is what the Israeli embassy is saying. At this moment, the fire and the police department, those who are at the spot, have not found anything which could be categorized as a blast. They don't know the nature of this blast, and the investigation, in fact, is on. Remember, at this moment, when Israel is at war with Palestine, in fact, daily bombings by the Israelis on the Gaza Strip after the October 7th Hamas attack, there is heightened sense of security around the Israeli embassy, and this does come as a big, in fact, at this moment, a wake-up call, and also a lot of police investigating this entire matter. What we know at this moment is that there was a loud bang at around 5 p.m. This is what the Israeli embassy officials are saying. They are awaiting the report from the Delhi police before they come out with an official statement. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, in 2021 as well, there was a low-intensity blast outside the Israeli embassy in Delhi. It was quite a shocking, in fact, security lapse at that moment. The National Investigation Agency is still investigating that case. At this moment, what we know so far is that there was a loud bang which was heard. There was a call made, and at this moment, the fire services and the Delhi police is on the spot. So far, have not found anything of significance at this moment. So this is the latest that we are getting in at this moment, and let me in fact also read out to you what the Israeli embassy, in fact, officials have said. The Israeli embassy spokesperson has confirmed that they have said that there was a blast near the embassy at around 5 p.m. The police is on the spot. The embassy is awaiting the police report, and the embassy may issue a statement after that. But let me reiterate once more that the police at this moment at the spot has not found anything. This is in fact breaking news, and it's coming in. More details are coming in. It's sketchy at this moment. As soon as we get more reactions and confirmation by the Delhi police, we will update that story. Moving on now, the consecration of the Ram temple in Ayodhya next month will be, in fact, headlined by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. On the road to 2024, this is being seen as a major stop for the Bharatiya Janata Party. And as expected, a full-blown political war is going on as far as the January 22nd event is concerned. Now, the opposition, MPs, senior leaders have been invited. Many of them have not sent their RSVPs, have not confirmed whether they are going to be part of this event or not. At least one political party, that is the CPIM, has confirmed they are not going to attend the ceremony.
A political row after top CPIM leaders today underlined the party's decision to skip the Ram Temple inauguration event next month in Ayodhya, calling it the politicization of a religious program.
धर्म जो है वो एक पवित्र संबंध है एक आत्मा और एक परमात्मा के बीच में। ये फंक्शन हो रहा है एक स्टेट स्पॉन्सर्ड इवेंट के रूप में। प्रधानमंत्री मौजूद रहेंगे, मुख्यमंत्री यूपी के मौजूद रहेंगे, जो राजनीतिक व्यवस्था के हैं उनके पदाधिकारी भी रहेंगे वहाँ पे।
The BJP, for which the construction of the temple has been a major campaign issue and will be again in the run-up to the 2024 general and state elections, hit back.
If I am sending invites or somebody has been sending invite to all these people, who's weaponizing the religion? The ones who are inviting or the ones who are choosing not to go? The ones who are choosing not to go are the ones who are weaponizing it, because they are the ones who have been trying to speak against a particular religion.
The left has spoken out, but all eyes are on the Congress and its senior leaders, including party boss Mallikarjun Kharge and its matriarch Sonia Gandhi. Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, its leader in the outgoing Lok Sabha, and its former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh have also been invited, but it is not clear if Rahul Gandhi has received one. The Congress has been guarded so far. General Secretary K.C. Venugopal has confirmed the invites, but said the party's stance will be known later.
The politics has begun, and as the date inches closer, the war of words will only intensify. With Maria Shakil in New Delhi, Tanish Punjabi in Lucknow for NDTV.
Meanwhile, criticizing Prime Minister Narendra Modi's government for not talking to Pakistan to resolve disputes, National Conference leader Farooq Abdullah, in fact, said that if the dispute is not resolved by talks between India and Pakistan, we may meet the same fate as Gaza. The former Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister remarks came against the backdrop of a series of unwelcome news from the Union territory over the past 1 week. During this period, 5 soldiers were killed in an ambush in Poonch and a retired police officer was shot dead. Now, these remarks, of course, have been criticized by the Bharatiya Janata Party. They have said that the veteran leader's remarks are regrettable, and a senior leader from Jammu and Kashmir is still talking about talks with Pakistan despite being backstabbed many times.
Anti-terrorist operation continued in Poonch on day 6. After the Thursday's ambush on army vehicles in which 4 soldiers were killed and 3 others are injured, troops are engaged in one of the biggest operations to flush out the attackers. But as the uptick in attacks on army has raised serious security concerns, Farooq Abdullah came with Gaza shocker if India and Pakistan do not start a dialogue. The former Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister said that Nawaz Sharif is expected to be the new Prime Minister of Pakistan and India should respond to his talks offer.
क्या वजह है कि हम बातचीत के लिए तैयार नहीं हैं? अगर बातचीत से हमने ये सुलझाया नहीं, तो माफी चाहता हूं आपसे कहने का, हमारा भी वही हाल होगा जो आज गाजा का और पैलेस्टीनियन का हो रहा है.
The BJP has strongly reacted to senior Abdullahs Gaza equivalents.
I have absolute regret such a senior, stalwart politician still talking about talks with Pakistan. I think Farooq Saab should learn now this regime is not going to go down before Pakistan.
20 army soldiers have been killed in a series of attacks on army in Poonch and Rajouri in last 7 months, as a region that was free from militancy has now become the main theatre of militancy in Jammu and Kashmir since last 3 years. Even as troops are engaged in a major counter-terrorist operation, Army has instituted a court of inquiry to investigate the death of 3 civilians and injuries to several others due to alleged torture by the troops. A brigade commander and 2 other officers have been removed from the command and they have been asked to join the inquiry.
While situation is worrisome after a series of major attacks on army and presence of battle-hardened foreign militants in Pir Panjal region of Jammu and Kashmir, Farooq Abdullah's Gaza remarks is clearly a misplaced analogy. In Srinagar, Nazir Masoodi for NDTV.
In fact, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has said today that India will track down those behind the attacks on merchant navy ships, even from the depths of the sea. The Defence Minister was speaking at the commissioning of the INS Imphal, the third of 4 Vishakhapatnam class warships developed and designed by the Indian Navy.
The INS Imphal, India's latest destroyer, among the most advanced warships of its class anywhere in the world. The third of 4 ships of its class, the 7,400-ton destroyer, is the first warship to have been named after a city in the northeast. The 4 ships have cost the Exchequer 35,800 crores or 8,950 crores per ship. Speaking on the commissioning of the destroyer, the Defence Minister made it clear India was watching the drone attacks against merchant vessels in the Indian Ocean with concern and will react.
भारत की बढ़ती आर्थिक और सामरिक ताकत ने कुछ ताकतों को ईर्ष्या और द्वेष से भर दिया है। अरब सागर में हाल में हुए यमवी चैंप प्लूटो पर ड्रोन हमले और कुछ पहले लाल सागर में यमवी साईं बाबा पर हुए हमले को भारत सरकार ने बहुत ही गंभीरता पूर्वक लिया है। जिन्होंने भी इस हमले को अंजाम दिया है उनके खिलाफ कठोर कार्रवाई की जाएगी।
Yesterday, this ship, the Chem Pluto, a chemical and oil carrier, limped into Mumbai harbour 48 hours after being struck by a drone more than 400 kilometers off the Indian coastline. While the Navy has confirmed that it was a drone strike, there is no clarity on where the weapon was fired from. Today, the Navy chief pointed out that several Indian warships have been deployed at a time when Houthi rebels in Yemen have stepped up their attacks.
Even as we speak, we have 4 destroyers of 15 Alpha and Bravo class deployed to counter piracy and drone attacks on merchant shipping. We have air surveillance by Sea Guardians, P8Is, Dorniers, helicopters and Indian Coast Guard units all deployed jointly to counter these threats.
The commissioning of the Imphal comes at a time when there is an unprecedented threat on merchant shipping off the coast of Yemen in areas held by Houthi rebels. US warships in the area have intercepted dozens of drones. Indian ships deployed in the area will now put themselves in harm's way to protect unarmed merchant vessels to ensure that a key route of maritime commerce remains protected. As much as 95% of India's foreign trade by volume and 70% by value moves through ocean routes. Vishnu Shom for NDTV.
Moving on, in fact, an Airbus A340 carrying 276 passengers, mostly Indians, landed in Mumbai early this morning following a 4-day detention in France over suspected human trafficking allegations. The key questions, though, still remains, which is unanswered, was there an attempt of human trafficking? The flight was bound to Nicaragua, and this has raised eyebrows as the Central American nation has seen a surge in individuals seeking asylum in United States. This is part of what is oftenly known as the donkey route, and were these people part of a donkey flight is now being investigated. Let me quickly go across, in fact, to my colleague Vishnu Shom for more details on this. Vishnu, what is not yet clear is that despite landing back at the airport and going through certain investigations, these are people, those who come from different states. Why was this flight particularly taking off and going to Nicaragua remains unanswered?
That's right, it does remain unanswered. On what basis was this flight? This flight actually took off from Dubai. So from Dubai to Nicaragua, what did it actually get permission to go? How did the Indian nationals from India get to go to Dubai if they were traveling in certain groups, even with a Nicaraguan visa? Shouldn't there have been intelligence to actually have ensured that they were stopped? It is an embarrassing situation. They're now back, many of them hiding their faces as they got out of the airport. But let's bring you a couple of details of what is a matter of huge concern. The number of people from India looking to illegally get into the United States. In 2021, there were 30,662 individuals looking to illegally get into the United States. That went up to 63,297. And 2023, this year so far, 96,917. That's a 206% increase in the number of Indians looking to get into the United States. This is US government data. If we actually split this up and look at the groups of people who are actually trying to get over there, this is single Indian adults. That number rising from 29,160 in 2021 to 83,517 in 2023. That's a huge 186% rise. And finally, and I think this is something which is of deep, deep concern, is that a lot of the people who are actually going, some of them in fact, are children. They are unaccompanied minors. There were single minors, unaccompanied kids making this journey in 2021, 237 of them. That went up to 409. That's gone up to 730 children making this long, treacherous attempt at trying to get illegally into the United States.
Very, very worrying numbers there. In fact, people trying to reach United States illegally, and this flight, in fact, still going under some very, very tough questions and scrutiny as we speak. Vishnu, thank you for joining us with all those details. Moving on now, no end to the controversy as far as the Wrestling Federation of India is concerned. Wrestler VES Fogat has now written to Prime Minister Narendra Modi, in which Fogat has said that she will return her Khel Ratna and Arjuna awards. Let me go across to my colleague Osama, who's joining us with more details on this. Osama, now after Bajrang Punia and few other wrestlers, VES is, of course, she was part of the big protest that these wrestlers held. She's also now threatening to return her honours. What has she specifically returned and demanded in this letter to the Prime Minister?
Well, Ankit, VES Fogat has basically come out and written on her social media handle X saying that she's going to return her Khel Ratna award as well as Arjuna award, and she has addressed a letter, an open letter to the Prime Minister, and where she has basically talked about her disappointment towards the government, towards the authorities who have, according to these protesting wrestlers, who have not been able to get these wrestlers the justice that they say that they deserve. And this has been coming. This has been coming, and because of the whole entire fight that has been going on for the last 1 year. Multiple times the Wrestling Federation of India elections were postponed, and ultimately when Sanjay Singh, when he came out after winning the elections, it was sort of in a sense a disappointment for the wrestlers, because what they say is that him being in that post, it's basically a proxy for Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh, who is the former Wrestling Federation of India chief. Remember, Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh, he conducted a press conference where he distanced himself from the Wrestling Federation of India. He said he doesn't have to do anything with the newly appointed Wrestling Federation of India chief. But at the same time, Sanjay Singh today, while talking to us, says that he has been associated with Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh for over 12 years. So there is a lot of contradiction in those statements as well. But what is important is that these wrestlers say that they are not going to give up the fight, and this is one way to raise their statement and say that look, if we are not getting the kind of justice that we deserve, we'll why not just return the awards and the accolades that we have got from the government.
Remember, this comes after a long protest. There was a time when these wrestlers also threatened to, in fact, immerse their medals in River Ganga, now awaiting a response from the Prime Minister. Thank you, Osama, for joining us with all those details. Moving on now, in response to the rising concerns over the spread of deep fakes and misinformation, the Government of India has issued an advisory to social media platforms urging them to comply with IT rules. The advisory emphasizes the need for clear communication to users regarding content that is not permitted under the Information and Technology Intermediary Guidelines and Digital Media Ethics Code rules. In a major breakthrough in resolving the decades-old problem of insurgency in Northeast, Centre has finalized a peace deal with a faction of United Liberation Front of Assam, or ULFA. The faction led by Anup Chetia has been open to talks, and sources say that the pact is likely to be signed on 29th of December. The pact may contain a financial aid package, a review for the citizenship list on the issue of illegal immigrants, new steps for land reservation and rights for the indigenous communities of Assam might also figure in the final deal. That is what the sources are telling NDTV. Let me go across to my colleague Ratnadeep Chaudhary, who is joining us with more details on this. Ratnadeep, quite a landmark, in fact, a milestone as far as the peace in Northeast is concerned, and specifically talking about Assam, how will it change the ground reality as far as the insurgency is concerned?
That's right. In fact, it is going to be a landmark moment for Assam when the peace deal finally comes through. Remember, at this moment, top Ulfa leaders from the Pro-Talk faction led by its leader Anup Chetia, Sashadhar Chaudhary and a few others are camping at New Delhi. In fact, today as well they had a rounds of meeting with the officials of the Ministry of Home Affairs. In fact, last week these leaders were camping at New Delhi. Also, some Chief Minister was camping there, and senior officials of MHA, the Director of Intelligence Bureau, the Chief of NIA, they had held a meeting. There was briefing given, and now what we are picking up is that this deal, the peace deal, is going to be signed in all likelihood on 29th of this month at 5 p.m. at the national capital in the presence of Union Home Minister Amit Shah, Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma. The Ulfa leadership, what we are picking up from our sources within the Ulfa is that they have requested for the presence of Prime Minister Narendra Modi as well, but whether that request has been accepted or not is not known yet. But what is important to note here is that this peace talk has come through after the Pro-Talk faction of Ulfa in 2011 submitted its 12-point charter of demands. In 2015, its top leader Anup Chetia was extradited from Bangladesh, and after that the process actually picked pace, and in the last couple of months there were, the talks were in the advanced stage. What we are picking up is that several clauses will be there in this final deal. However, another faction of Ulfa led by its supremo Paresh Barua, which is the independent faction, is still involved in armed movement and is adverse to the peace talks at this moment. But this is going to be a major step towards peace in Assam and Northeast.
Thank you, Ratnadeep, for joining us with all those details. Staying with Assam, a horrific story, in fact, being reported from the state where a 30-year-old woman was attacked with sharp weapons and burned to death for allegedly practicing witchcraft in Assam's Sonitpur district. Several people have been arrested by the cops so far, but shocking incident once again reflects on how, despite having an anti-witch hunting law, yet women are subjected to this horror.
A shocker from Assam. 33 years old Sangeeta Kapi, an Adivasi tea garden worker, assaulted and set ablaze by a neighbor and his henchmen after accusations of witchcraft. From some others in the village, a brazen justification. The police have arrested 6 persons in this case so far. This is not the first time that Assam has witnessed such a heinous killing. According to government records, between 2001 to 2017, as many as 193 people, that includes 114 women and 79 men, have been brutally killed after being branded as witch. Since 2018, Assam has a strict law against witch hunting, yet the practice continues. Any offence under Assam witch hunting law is non-bailable and cognizable. But despite the stringent law, such incidents continue in the state. With inputs from Sanjay Chakravarti in Guwahati, Ratnadeep Chaudhary for NDTV.
Moving to Uttar Pradesh, a tiger that wandered in a village in UP was tranquilized by forest officers this morning after a huge crowd was seen surrounding the majestic animal.
A tiger's day out in a village in Uttar Pradesh turned into a rescue operation as authorities scrambled to put the animal and the people out of harm's way in Pilibhit. The tiger entered the village from the Pilibhit Tiger Reserve on Monday night. Villagers were alerted by stray dogs that kept barking at the tiger, who was resting on the wall of a house. Reports suggest the animal did not attack anyone. Footage shows the tiger lying almost motionless on a wall with onlookers queuing up. Villagers allege it is due to the forest department's negligence that the tiger could get into the village.
वन विभाग का कोई आया अभी? आए हुए हैं, कुछ कर रहे हैं वो लोग? कुछ नहीं कर रहे हैं, खाली बातें मिला रहे हैं, लोगों को पढ़ रहे हैं बस।
There was drama as the big cat wobbled its way through the rescue operation, with forest department officials trying to grab its tail.
हमने सारे जो उपाय करने होते हैं, जो प्रोटोकॉल फॉलो करने होते हैं एनटीसी की एसओपी के अनुसार, हमने उस बैग को ट्रैंक्लाइज करके अपने केज में ले लिया है. अब उसको थोड़ा सा उसको निरीक्षण करेंगे, उसको थोड़ा सा ऑब्जर्व करेंगे.
But this is not a freak incident, as 5 deaths have been reported in 4 months in tiger attacks in Pilibhit. At least 4 dozen tiger attack incidents have been reported since the creation of the Tiger Reserve in 2015. With Vishal Vivek, Bureau Report, NDTV.
All right, that's all the time that we have in this edition. News and updates continue on NDTV. Thank you so much. Good night.